So, like on everything, like it's taught me so much more. I feel like it's helped me grow so much more as an individual, as a business owner, as um, I don't know, in a lot of different ways, And so, definitely with my finances, yo, Chicago is gonna have your finances on point for sure. They're definitely gonna have your finances on point, and so yeah, I mean, if you're thinking about it, do it. You think about moving, do it. I mean, I would strongly suggest to do that shit because that shit was hella cool, and it really changed my whole life. It really you get comfortable. You get comfortable in your identity and where you live and where you stay and how much you make and you know how many kids you have and who your partner is and you know where do you work. Like I said that already, but everything about your certain life that you create in a certain town somewhere, and it's like when you switch, when you completely disrupt that, that reality, that paradigm, when you completely change where you live, like who you're with, what you do, and all that shit, your whole life is gonna change. And when you move to a different city, a different state, a different country, wherever you move, you're gonna be thrown into the whirlwind of life and of that city. I feel like, and so it's tough because just just knowing it's tough, like in a cool way. Like it's tough. Like it's tough. Like them kicks is tough. Like them shoes is tough. Like nah, like it's tough. Like it's tough. Like pulling through some shit, bouncing back from some shit, like being down and figuring shit out on your own, finding new places, new things to do, like new places to see. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's like um, it's a once in a lifetime thing for real. And so some people been asking me like, yo, why did you stop the content? Why did you stop the content? Like, you was posting mad content last year. Where's it at? Like, you didn't really post that much content, and it's really just been a lot of growing, a lot of you know, a lot of like masterminding some shit. And so now that I am getting back to posting the content, promoting myself, and kind of connecting, with people online. I think one of the videos I just posted on the TikTok went up to some little thousands of views and stuff like that, little 80,000. I think one of my posts on my Instagram hit like 300,000. Okay, cool. We're building up some followers and stuff like that, networking with more people, growing the business. Ultimately at the end of the day, it's all about growing the business. It's all about increasing the amount of assets, the amount of assets that you can, create for yourself and create for your business and you know, for you to positively cash flow some money. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's a big message, a big up to everybody. Um, it's just big up to everybody who ever moved out of their hometown. You know what I'm saying? For me, for me, for me moving out of my hometown, like I'm not saying like, okay, cool, look, I did it a year. You know what I'm saying? Boom. A year. You know, like asking myself right now, like, what do I want now? What do I want now? Where am I going? And that's what I've been figuring out so I can make more content that is aligned to that, and that kind of matches up with where I want to go. It's like being an entrepreneur, being a business owner, being CEO. It's like that that's a lot of different hats you gotta wear. So from being in that position and also having to come back and make the content and to figure out and what is the content serving, because okay, you know just to throw a whole bunch of content out there to try to get monetized, that's cool, but I'm thinking it on a business perspective, like how am I going to structure this and make sure that I can come back, launch the new application, tell everybody about the new TTG Streams application. Yo, go download it right now. Download code 433-2592. And again, the 433-2592. Go download the new TTG Streams application. That's the download code for Fire 6 and other stuff like that. Or reach me at thetechguy.io, my website, so that you can get the streaming, my little streaming, join our little streaming community. How to, stream more, spend less. Or if you're trying to book a cut, you already know what it is in Chicago. Pull up to the motherfucking what you call it, the barber, my little barber studio. Stop by the barber studio in Chicago where I'm cutting hair, and get a cut. It's really like all these little different hustles for real, but for what, it's really a passion. It's really a passion for real, and that's why on TTG Streams, yes, it's a streaming community, and the barber shit is really like a barber community. Like it's people who are kind of like the TTG Streams folks. Like whoever support me with the streams, they support me with the streams, and I support them with the streams. But at the same time, it's like with the barber stuff, it's a little different. Personally, the reason I enjoy doing it is because it's just always been like some shit I wanted to do. Like since my grandmother was she had her little barber shop. She had a little beauty shop. Okay, she was doing with female hair and all that. Or I don't know if she had a shop or she was running a room. Either way. You know, stuff like that. And so when she had her barber shop, I mean her beauty shop, or when she rented rooms and shit like that, and kind of seeing my mom take me to get haircuts. And there's one time we went to go somewhere it's not in San Antonio, Texas. It's like in Converse, Texas. Kind of like Live Oak, but not near Live Oak, more near like Judson. And so it was a barber shop, and it was right by that little Sobs restaurant, little Sabritos, like, but a little further down, like towards the tracks. And so at this barber shop, I remember my mom just pulling up in there to get a cut or something to help me, get a cut. And it was just it was an old dude. It was just, but had a pot. When my mom paid him though, he had a pocket full of money.